Breaking news, everybody. Ken Griffey Jr. is coming back home. I know I don't really talk about baseball on this channel because it's not exactly my favorite sport and I don't follow it that closely, but I think this warrants a little video. So, he is coming back to Seattle to play for the Mariners. 1 year, $2 million. I don't know exactly how it's laid out, but it's 1 year, $2 million, which is really reasonable given how potentially good he could still be. I mean, I know he's brittle as all hell, but when he does play, he's pretty good, so I'm surprised he actually came as cheap as he did. Now, I do kind of view this whole thing as a little bit of a novelty. I do not think that he is going to stay healthy for a significant amount of time. I think that if we got 90 games out of him, that would be amazing. If we get 100 or more, that's a miracle. I also don't think us signing him is actually going to make us a good team. I still have the same outlook on the upcoming Mariners season as I did, before this signing. It doesn't change anything. Maybe we'll win 1 or 2 more games and score a couple more runs, but it's like whatever. It's a novelty. That's what it is. We're bringing back a guy who used to play for our team, was so awesome, was worshipped up here, kind of left on bad terms, and his career went south, and we're bringing him back for his farewell tour, I guess. So I looked up the numbers on him because I didn't really know where he was, and the home run list, he's got 611 right now. I guess if he plays 2 more seasons and stays reasonably healthy, he can pass Willie Mays for 4th all-time. That's about as high as he's going to go, but it's something to shoot for. I looked at the RBI list. He's 1,772, 18th. And again, if he stays reasonably healthy, I'd say he has a chance to move into the top 8 over the next 2 years, passing Jimmy Fox at number 8. So that's a possibility. I looked at the career record for hits, and surprisingly he's not that high on this list, which, well, he's at 58th, so I'm not even going to really talk about that. But he does rank pretty high on some of these lists. As tragic as his career is, as much wasted potential as he has, he still could end up ranking in the top 4 all-time in home runs. He needs a couple of breaks. He needs to stay healthy, meaning he actually doesn't need any breaks. But he could end up climbing pretty high, so that's cool. And if he wants to, spend the next year or 2 here and then retire with whatever records he happens to have, that's awesome. It's hard for me to talk about Griffey and the Mariners because it kind of gets me down, man, because I feel like this team is pretty hopeless right now and I don't see any end in sight. I know it's going to happen eventually just by the law of averages, but I do not see this team being good for a long time. And when I first got into sports in 1996, the thing that got me into sports was the 1996 Olympics. Before then, I didn't care about sports. I was 7 years old, and the 1996 Olympics were on, and it kind of turned me on to the competitiveness of the whole thing. So, first, and I was immediately turned on to all 3 Seattle sports teams. The Sonics were really good at that time. The Mariners were just turning it around at that time. And the Seahawks were actually awful then, but whatever. Anyway, the first Mariners game I ever remember watching, quite possibly the first Seattle sport team that I remember watching, I was watching opening day of the Mariners, April 1st, I think, and first time up, Griffey hits a home run. Okay. Second time up, Griffey hits a home run. Alright. Third time up, Griffey hits a double. And I remember the announcer saying after he hit that double, well, he's human. And that kind of raised my expectations for a long time. Like, I expected guys to hit 3 home runs a game on a regular basis. I mean, that was like the first baseball game I saw, so I don't remember if I'm just not remembering the story right, but I feel like this happened. If somebody wants to look it up, that's cool, because I don't really care. But this was before Griffey was the huge deal. We knew he had the potential, but this was before he was kicking ass. So I saw that, and that's like my first sports memory. I don't really remember anything from the '96 Olympics worth remembering. So it's kind of sentimental to me, but it makes me sad because this guy could have been the greatest baseball player ever. He didn't take good enough care of his body. He didn't work out hard enough. It made him brittle later in his career. And it's very sad because potential like that does not come along that often. I mean, when I see a guy now like LeBron James or Dwight Howard, I hope to God that they harness everything they have. Because if they blow this, if they don't fully live up to their potential, it's going to be sad. And Griffey was a great player. He's headed for the Hall of Fame. He's still a quality player. So many great years up here in Seattle, but could have been more, and the fact that it's not is kind of sad, but I'm glad he's back. You know, this season I expect nothing from the Mariners. I fully expect us to be at the bottom of the division and just be awful. But I will probably be rooting for Griffey's stats. I will not be following baseball that much this year. I'm just way too busy, and I can't even watch baseball for that long anyway. But I'm rooting for Griffey to, you know, hopefully stay healthy, hit himself 30 home runs, bat in 80, 90 runs, you know, just do well. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe we can squeeze some wins out of it, but I am not counting on it anyway. Enough about the reminiscing. I don't want to talk about the Mariners too much because it kind of gets me down. But see you guys later.